Hey guys, this is King Vox, and today I want to talk about Fractals. Fractals is a PvE mode of the game that I loved forever. Just like the thought of Fractals just makes me excited. Endless dungeons, you know what I mean? And to me, when Fractals was announced and stuff like that, to me, I took it as if, it was kind of like a smaller niche type of PvE content, similar to kind of like how raiding is now. You know what I mean? I saw endless potential for Fractals, and at this point, I really don't understand what they're trying to do with Fractals. A part of me feels like they want to kind of get rid of Fractals, and I don't know how Fractals is going to fend for itself in the future, the next expansion. Even like there was nothing mentioned at all in the expansions about Fractals whatsoever. Like I feel like the key points, when a new expansion or something like that is announced, is the game modes. So they should talk about, oh, how are we going to change World v World, or what changes are going to happen to World v World, what changes are going to happen to Fractals. I literally feel strongly about Fractals just being like Fractals. Like I want I kind of feel like now they're pushing it in a spot where Fractals is just some extra thing you can do in Guild Wars 2, and that's the end of the story. And the reason why I feel like this is because of gear. Now, everyone knows that you've always been able to get accessories and random weapon drops and stuff like that in Fractals for ascended gear. But most people that ran Fractals back in the day, the way we got our ascended gear is to craft it. And a lot of people forget about this. Like it's kind of like, those people that crafted those ascended sets, like, back then, that, spent so much time and effort to make these sets. Like I'm telling you guys, I have 2 ascended sets for light and 1 ascended set for heavy. Now back when I made this as my ascended sets for my necromancer, the sets were literally the amount of materials that I use to craft these sets, guys, were literally thousands of gold. Like literally, like it was probably about 1,500 gold per set, and I crafted 2 sets for light. So that's over 3,000 something gold, and the time that I put in to manage all that stuff or whatever was tremendous. Right now I kind of feel like, we're getting the stick right now. PB, when I saw people able to get ascended gear in structured PvP, I thought to myself, I was like, what? Like, why was that even, like, who thought of that? Like, most people in this game or whatever treat each niche part of the game, structured PvP, World v World, Raid, and Fractals, as completely different entities. A lot of those people don't travel back and forth between modes. Now, there are some people that do, but the people that play that mode hardcore is usually that's their mode. They're usually not playing multiple modes, and for me it's true for me because I do Fractals over raids. Raids just take a lot more. I feel like raids are just a little bit too toxic for me, if that makes sense. The amount of people, whatever, that it requires just breeds toxicity, and I don't mean for other people. Like it's for me because I don't want to have to go through people's specs and stuff like that. In Fractals, it's simple. I say, hey, do you have the agony resistance for this, and do you know the fights? That's fine. If you don't know the fights, I can teach you. You can jump on my Discord, and it's not a problem. With raids, it's a whole different ballgame because you need people to play specific roles, and you do sometimes in Fractals as well. But with just 5 people, whatever, you can manage. And Fractals have been out a while, that everyone kind of knows what they're doing. And I'm pretty sure there's groups that feel the same way about raiding, that raid's been out for such a long time now that people know what they're doing. But for me, I really feel like Fractals is being forgotten. Like Fractals is such a unlimited potential. Like everyone that's ever seen Sword Art Online will never let Fractals die. Like the whole idea of us going up this ladder, to higher and higher and higher difficulties, right, is just amazing. And another thing is, when, like I said, when PvP, structured PvP got ascended sets as rewards, as like just being able to get ascended set through PvP. Yes, you could always get like little random ascended pieces and stuff like that from chests in just about every game mode. World v World I understood, because in World v World they actually use the armor. Ascended armor makes a difference in World v World. Ascended armor makes no difference in structured PvP. Okay, but what game mode the mostly relies on ascended armor to progress? Fractals. You can in raid, you can progress in raid just about to the end, to just about every raid, you know, in exotic gear. You can't do that in Fractals. Fractals is the only game mode required to have ascended gear. And matter of fact, I'll show you guys why right now. Like, for people that don't understand this, for people that are, you know, hold on, I'll just like click here. Okay, so as you guys see, this little puddle right here, this is called Agony. And what Agony does is essentially a gear check. Now, a lot of times, in some dungeons, it happens before you fight the boss. Some dungeons, it happens, you know, all through the fight. Some dungeons, you're gonna get hit all through the fight. And you know what happens if you don't have agony resistance? You die. Look, you die. It's so crazy, and it's not a minor thing to just laugh at. And I'm gonna tell you why. So you see, it does 3,900 damage, right? 3,900 damage. That is such a lot of damage to take if you don't have the proper amount of agony resistance. Now, let me put my gear on and let me show you guys something. Hold on. I might have put a little bit too much on, actually. Let me see. How much does it require? Oh, 70. Okay, requires 73. So we're at 65 right now. And let's see. Hold on. Just put one more thing on. Okay, we're at exactly 73. Let's see how much damage it does. It does 200 damage, guys. 222 damage when it was doing 3,900 damage to make that level. So this is essentially just a check. Like, seriously, look, now I'll take this off and I'm at 65. It shouldn't do too much damage to me because I'm at 65, right? No! Massive damage, 2,000 damage. I'm at 65. The required agony for this is 73. So you have no choice but to reach that requirement, or you're stuck wherever you're stuck in Fractals and can't do higher Fractals. And that's why things like, you know, Fractal 40s is created, because someone's like, hey, well, you know what, I can get, you know, 43 agony resistance, I think, and just spam this over and over again and get the most out of Fractals. Back on the subject of gear, and let me get down to the moral of the story, guys. World v World and structured PvP players are getting legendary armor. Now, I know it doesn't give you the visuals of legendary armor like Raid does, but why is Fractals adjacent to Raid? Why, when people think of Fractals, why do people think of like Raids? Oh, you know, if I say Fractals is not getting legendary armor and stuff like that, like, we just got ascended armor on this guy, and it requires it requires pages, it requires fractal relics. Okay, fractal relics and pages are no small task by their stuff to get. Okay, they're kind of iffy, they're time gated like crazy, but on top of that, now we have these grandmaster marks or whatever, just like, you know, they added into structured PvP before they made that whoopsie. And I feel some type of way about this. Like, why do we have to craft marks? Like, I just feel some tremendous amount of way like this. Like, you don't have to for Raid. Like, why is Fractals being hit so hard? Like, do we not, as Fractal people, put more time into Fractals than people put into Raids? Like, I can tell you right now, I spend more time in Fractals than anyone spends in Raids. And I'm pretty sure a majority of hardcore Fractal players or whatever did as well. So, you know, this is just crazy to me. And we're the only game mode in the game that literally are required required to have fully ascended or whatever, so we can even get to tier 3. And there's 4 tiers in fractals. And fractals is such a beautiful thing, guys. I mean, let's be real. We've been forgotten, and yes, they added that new fractals, and that new fractals is beautiful. It's downright beautiful, but the rewards for being here is just a joke. It really is a joke. Like I said earlier, majority of us veteran players already crafted our gear, because that's how you got ascended gear when you were a fractals player back in the day. And like majority of any type of player, you know, we crafted this. You know what I mean? And so I don't want to have to do raids to get legendary armor. That's what this is really about, guys. I don't want to do raids to get legendary armor. To be personally honest with you guys, I raided enough on World of Warcraft. When I came to Guild Wars 2, I didn't really care for raids. Like, I love world bosses; those were fun. I love stuff like that. But the raid aspect of the game has never been interesting for me. I stopped raiding in World of Warcraft years before I stopped playing World of Warcraft, just because I just wasn't into that. The whole idea of fractals was like, damn, this is my baby. This is what I love. I genuinely love fractals. I genuinely think that fractals is a very unique concept, and that's not on just about any other game that I've ever played. I've never encountered a situation like this, and maybe that's the inner Sword Art Online right now that's speaking. But you guys, please, you know, pray for fractals, man. We want legendary armor. You know, newer players want ascended armor through here, and they don't want to craft these stupid grandmaster marks. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, they're told you make it fear and stuff. Like, fear, what are you talking about? We're the only game mode that requires ascended gear. You know how hard it is to get 800 fractals? Listen, guys, you guys don't understand. The pages are time locked by their stuff, right? So then you have here you have the breastplate, which is 24 pages. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, unless you're very active and log in every day and do every single one of your fractal dailies, like, you're not getting a full set within like a month. Like, this is literally, guys, like two maybe 3 months, maybe even 4 months for a casual player to reach. And on top of that, the fractal relics aren't no walk in the park as well. You know what I mean? And this is just for the armor. Now, like, let's see where the weapon crates at. And as you see, the weapon crates are 824 pages a piece, which, like I told you guys, these pages are locked. First of all, you can't even get the maximum amount of pages a day without having ascended gear to begin with. So if you don't have ascended gear, the most you can do is push halfway into tier 2 for your fractal research pages, you know, for a daily, and then you're busted. Like, that's it. Now, the Grandmaster marks, like, they're kind of funny because, yes, by the time you farm enough relics and pages to be able to get a full set of ascended and fractals, guys, by the time you even do this, you will have the gold to literally just craft it. Like, I'm dead honest with you. Like, you're better off doing fractal 40 spams when you get your full ascended accessories, right? Doing fractal 40 spams, and by times you get enough relics to even relics alone to be able to get a full set of all of this stuff, you will have the gold to craft an ascended set. So that's how ridiculous this is. And mind you, I crafted 2 ascended sets for leather. I mean, not for leather, but for light armor back in the day, when it was ridiculously expensive. Like, it used to be the most expensive. Now I think leather has mastered it. I think leather right now is pushing crazy. Or I might be wrong. Maybe light ascendant is still really up there, but, you know, it's just redundant. And, you know, we're not getting legendary stuff. Like, that's sad too. We're being forced out of fractals and into raids. I kind of feel like the devs kind of want to get rid of fractals, but at the same time they give me hope because they released that new fractals, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so fun, and it's hard with pugs, mind you. I mean, I could teach you. If you guys want to do fractals and you at least have your ascended accessories, you know, for the agony resist, I'm sorry if you don't have higher agony resist than, you know, 30 or something like that, it's going to be really difficult or whatever to teach you guys. But for the people that do want to get into fractals and stuff like that, join my Discord and come hang out with me, bro. I'll take you to fractals. I'll teach you guys fractals. Fractals is very easy, you know, but it's time consuming. And, you know, the idea, this is a false hope right here. All this ascendant gear in here is false hope. Now, I know there's players out there that have a ton of this stuff. Most of those players have been doing fractals for a very long time, guys. And most of them don't have need for any of this stuff either, except for maybe an alt, because they most likely crafted their ascendant set just like I did, you know. So that's it. If please leave your opinions down below in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe for more videos.